guest, a returning comedian, Stu McAllister. We chat about life and comedy, the road, conspiracy theories, and Last Comic Standing. So enjoy this interview with the man, the myth, the Dr. Grins legend from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Stu McAllister. Hey guys, on the podcast today, Stu McAllister again. Welcome back.
I like your intro. Hey guys.
I've started doing things a little differently now that I did a podcast with Jake Johansson. He told me that the way the professionals do it now is they'll cut the interview.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, then they go back and they do the intro as like a pre-roll thing, like,
gotcha.
Welcome to the podcast. Today on the show, we've got this great interview, and here's this interview.
I thought that you were like, and we're back from commercial break. Hey guys,
and we're back.
Action.
This is part 7 of an in-depth interview with comedians.
Oh God, there's no need for that many.
Thank you for driving back up to the house so we could tape this.
Well, you were legitimately you're one of my favorites.
Oh, get out of here!
I'm not lying.
Cut it.
I'm not. Why would I lie?
There's Mr. Burgundy.
Oh Jesus, this one's big.
Yeah, he's half Maine Coon.
What?
Yeah, he's a mountain cat.
He's chilly. Oh God, my back. How does he get along with the little one?
Yeah, it took a long time of integration. We should tell people we're taping at my house this time, and I have 2 cats and a dog. The dog's at Grandma's house.
Why is the dog at Grandma's house?
Because the baby's at Grandma's house as well, and we're heading to Grandma's house tomorrow to help her pack up her shit because she sold her house and she's moving to the cities.
The big cities in Minneapolis?
She lives in War Road.
Where's that?
Hockeytown, USA, on the border of Canada, 7 hours north of here.
Yikers.
Marvin's Windows. You don't know any of that?
No.
Oh.
Don't know.
Well,
sorry.
you're from Grand Rapids.
I don't know these things.
So the last time you were on the podcast, we just chatted mainly about Main Street comedy.
Yes.
That was all we talked about mostly.
And what cluster it was and how
Do you know
it
what they have
continues to
done
be.
since?
Oh, has there been more?
Well, I mean, it's just the standard. The page is still up and people are still smashing them about rape comedy. But apparently they've decided to now have a Wednesday show called
Rape Night?
Shooting Gallery, where it is no holes barred. You can talk about whatever you want. It's going to be the filthiest, grossest thing you've ever heard. Then Thursday, from their website, Thursday is the vanilla open mic, where it's all clean.
Don't they understand that they should just do something kind of like in the middle? Do like fudge brown.
So it's rape to family.
Right.
Next. So
we're going to perform comedy for 3-year-olds.
I just,
that's when you give up.
I don't know, man.
You give up.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing up there. It's been interesting the last couple months because, I mean, obviously, thankfully, I've been getting a lot of work from that contest that I did in May, the Comedy 10K.
Great. Good.
So I really haven't had that much open dates, and I just keep getting daily emails from Funny Business like, can you do this or that? And I'm like, the first email I sent back, I said my calendar's full until 2015. And then they sent me an email like a week later, like, can you do Sauk Rapids next Saturday? And I'm like, well, since the last we talked, the calendar's still full.
Booked.
Yeah,
still booked.
And then it's like
everything is still full. Thank you.
But so I'm just waiting for the time where they ask me to go back to Evansville.
Would you like to do it at Evansville?
And,
How? I'm full.
Is there any chance there's 5 shows on the front end of it to make it worth it? Because it's pretty rough. But so you're working at House of Comedy this week.
House of Comedy.
Which probably will make no sense for this podcast because this one will be released in a couple weeks.
Sure. So don't bother coming to House of Comedy, everybody.
Do this live.
You won't.
So they
you
would
won't
come out tomorrow.
Well, I mean, no one's coming to see me anyway, and this week it's a long week. I have to be there Tuesday through Sunday.
You get to close tomorrow, though, don't you?
No, I think I host the open mic, or at least that's what I did the last time I was there.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like about the new structure over there is like before, if it was standard where it was like MC feature headliner. If you were featuring and like the famous person was just coming in on Friday and Saturday,
right,
then you would get to headline Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday and make that extra money. Well, now they have a policy that if you take the job as the MC, you're the MC the whole week.
Right.
And they'll bring in other guys from around town to do the headline spots. Yep. Of course, I never get those phone calls. I'm available. I'm here.
My number is. Call me.
Did you need somebody this Wednesday?
I'm booked until 2015 now.
Yeah. Get back to me in 2015. No, I did Columbus a couple weeks ago, and I had to open for Bruce.
Wow.
And let's just say there was a lot of darkness.
Sure.
A lot of darkness out there. But I got him.
Good.
I got him. So
that's when you know your act is good, when you can just get large, different ethnic groups liking you.
Have you done the Dakota stage in Bismarck for, I think it's L. Arnson that books it. Do you know L?
No, I
Fargo?
don't.
Okay.
No.
I'll have to put you in contact with him. It's a fun thing. It's just a Friday, Saturday at a theater that does plays.
Sweet.
And then every once in a while they do stand-up on Friday and Saturday. Merrifield was there, and Jason Russell and a bunch of them. Anyways, it was fun.
Yeah.
But so you're in town for House of Comedy. And
House of Comedy.
Excited to go do
I'm going to be at the
crowning jewel of
ACME.
Minneapolis.
Yes, which I visited last time I was in town because Roy Wood Jr. was there, and I know Roy, and he's a great dude.
Oh.
I went, I saw him, and we talked a bit, and there you go. It was
Sullivan
fun.
and Son.
Yeah, the Sullivan and Son. He just was in Grand Rapids to do the Sullivan and Son tour with Steve Byrne and Owen Benjamin and Ahmed.
God, they all did it?
Yeah, the four of them. They toured together.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah,
It must have been a rock-solid show.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Unfortunately, they came to Grand Rapids on a Monday, and that's just a tough sell.
Nobody came on?
No, people were there, but, I mean, if it was half full, you know.
It was half full for those four?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, it's a Monday sell, and tickets were like $20. In Grand Rapids, people are kind of lame. You know that.
They are.
So
really.
it's unfortunate.
I love that room, but those people are lame.
I would have paid $20 just to see Roy Wood.
Yeah. Well, it's like they had I was early into comedy, and a tour came through ACME called the Jameson Comedy Tour or something like that.
Sure.
And it was like a bunch of people that were proclaimed like big drinkers. But when you watched the show, you were like, I don't know if these, because it was Billy Gardella from Mike and Molly, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but Bert Kreischer closed it.
Oh,
and that was the first time I'd ever
drinker.
seen him live.
Yeah.
And man, he was really funny.
Good.
But so ACME, I, like many different comics in Minneapolis, have had a storied past with ACME.
Well, and that's the unfortunate thing, because I mean, I was telling you off mic that that's a club that I would like to work, but I fully know I will never work there.
God, it's such a strange place, man. There are literally the camp of comedians here that have never worked there.
Yeah.
And this whole other group that are like they have a golden ticket, like they can work there whenever they want.
Sure.
And it's just such a strange, because my story with them when I first started in comedy, like that was the place to be. Like getting on the ACME Monday open mic was like getting on Letterman for like a new comic. You were like, oh my God, because literally like 80 comics sign up on Monday and they put up like 15.
Yeah.
And like half of those are professional comics that live in town.
Yeah.
And then the other half are for the newbies. And half of those are for the people that are doing it for the first time, because they have a policy that if it's your very first time ever doing their open mic, you get a spot.
Sweet.
But they take it away from the top 10. So literally it's like 80 comics fighting for 10 spots.
That's
so
awful.
getting a regular rotation at ACME was like almost impossible.
Yeah.
But there was a time where when I was up and coming, I was writing different, that I was getting on every Monday. And people were like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just writing and performing. And people started talking that they were going to use me as an MC there. And like, I started freaking out, like, this is so crazy. And then I got in contact with Tom Hansen, and he wanted to send me out on the road as a feature.
Sweet.
And I was like, cool, I'd love to do that. And so I took the work. And then I came back, and I did the open mic once, and they never put me up ever again.
Because they saw you as like, this is a guy who's just going to leave and go do the road? Is that it?
Well, what's funny is I came down every Monday for a year, and I never got on the open mic.
Okay.
Every Monday.
Okay.
I missed celebrations. I missed family gatherings.
Yeah.
I made a commitment
Yeah.
that I was going to keep going there every Monday
Sure.
and get on the show.
Get your time.
And after about 10 months, I was doing Knuckleheads that used to be at the Mall of America. It was Rich Miller's room. I don't
Oh,
know if you
okay.
know Rich Miller.
The helium guy, right?
Is he Helium?
I thought so.
Oh, that's possible.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Dennis Miller's brother?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So he loved me. Like,
Right.
he was putting me up in Knuckleheads all the time, and we were sitting at the bar, and he said something about, like, you must do ACME all the time. And I said, I haven't even done their open mic. And he's like, well, the guy over there's name is Lewis. And he goes, Lewis is a really good friend of mine. I'll make a call, go down there Monday, and I'm sure he'll put you on the open mic. And in my head, I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Right.
So I went down there, and sure enough, I was on the list. And I was like, oh, my God. So he made a call. So I went on stage, did my set. It went really well.
Yeah.
And then for the next, 3 months, I never got on again. And I just was like, this is just a waste of my time. Like, what's the point of this? So years later, I was traveling with Tim Slagle.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Tim Slagle.
I know the name. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever met him.
So we were trading road stories like comics do in the car.
Sure.
And I made some comment because he's always at ACME. And I said, man, I just wish I could know what I did to Lewis that I would never get on his stage ever again. And he's like, do you want to know? And I go, what do you mean, do you want to know? And he goes, we've talked about you. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. And he goes, no, we've talked about you. And I said, yeah, well, what's the story? And he said, that if I had stayed in Minneapolis and just cultivated my act, because his thing is he wants you to stay here for 5 years, and all he wants you to do is work ACME, and he wants to cultivate you. He wants to push you in the right direction. He wants to be responsible for your rise in the comedy business. And the guys that will leave and go do the road, he thinks become road guys, where all their jokes are about fast food restaurants and drinking and women, and it's nothing that he hasn't heard before. And he likes weird guys. Like, his favorite comic is Emo Phillips, so that
Tells you a
should
lot.
tell you something.
Sure.
And granted, when I did come back from that road trip, it was a lot about
You guys want to drink it? Yeah! Where's the white women at?
I don't know if it was white women.
All right, whatever.
I was like, so I'm eating at a White Castle. I'm drunker and shit. This lady's like, where's your pants? And he's like, oh, God, not one of these again. So, yeah, I found out that's why.
So it's just, you need to get booked by being weird. It's going to get weird.
Well, yeah, it's like his favorite guys are in Minneapolis are like Tommy Ryman and all these new people. I don't even know who they are, but they're just doing so much work down there. And then I see their sets, and I'm just like,
Oh, well, let me ask you this
guy is
then.
out there.
It's great that they work ACME and they're doing well, but then does that translate to Mid-America? Can they go to Grand Rapids, Michigan, or Kansas City?
well, that's the
and
thing
do
is
well?
the guys that made that decision
Yeah.
to be an ACME guy
Uh-huh.
are humongous right now. And these are guys like Pete Lee,
Yeah.
Chad Daniels,
Yeah.
Isaac Whitty,
Uh-huh.
Andy Ritchie, John Evans, the guys that made that decision to be an ACME comic. The point is that Lewis has been around for 30 years, and his connections to the entertainment business are unlike any other person. He's got connections to Comedy Central, to Conan, to Montreal, to Aspen, to New York, to Los Angeles, and if he's one of your boys, or if you're one of his boys, and he, sees his part in your rise, there's no limit to what he won't do for you. So
What does he
it
get
kinda
out of
sucks.
that, though, other than bragging rights? I mean, he's not managing comics, is he?
I don't know if he is or not, but
Okay.
he goes, though. He goes with the guys to Aspen and Montreal, and I think there is a bit of that ego, here are all the guys that I've discovered
Okay.
and are big time. So
I guess it's bragging rights. Doesn't mean anything. What are you
And
doing?
Stu
You own a club.
McAllister, you are going to be
Shit.
number 20. You're going to be lucky 20.
Yeah.
So get down there.
Oh.
You show him that magic
The
stuff.
Stu McAllister stuff.
You're right.
I put the stew in stuff. So rip out all my weird jokes.
Tell me about. So last week you were in Rookies. And
Rookies, Sioux Falls. Yeah,
And,
I was there with Nick Anthony.
Get out of here! Really?
Yeah, that was part of it too. Like I drove up to Minneapolis to get him Thursday, and then we drove down to Sioux Falls, and then I brought him back yesterday, and then he wanted to go to the football game, so he and I ended up going to the football game.
You went to the Vikings game?
Yeah, we got tickets for like $20 a pop.
What?
Yeah, it was like StubHub or something. We were like,
tried to sell me one of those tickets for $72.
Who did?
Nick.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. We bought a ticket yesterday. We were like 10 minutes late.
He was robbing me.
I guess.
Bastard.
What, he was asking you to
Did
come
he have
or something?
an extra ticket?
He had 3, but then his buddy Adam showed up.
Yeah.
And so then there you go. It was like the 3 tickets were like $62 or something.
I've got the text right here.
I don't know.
Let's go to the text because I want to
go to the text. I don't know.
If one of my best friends,
I can honestly tell you this, Mark. He never once mentioned your name. I'm not gonna lie.
Get out of here.
He never said anything about pull-ups. He didn't. He just talked about this Adam guy.
So.
Do you know Adam? He's the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, Deggy. No,
not Adam Deggy. Adam Deggy should be in a wheelchair.
Adam Blazer.
I guess. Yeah. So he lives pretty close to Minnesota. What did he say?
4 p.m. You want to go to the Vikings game tomorrow?
Oh,
Tickets only $70.
Well, and that very well may have been at that time, but when we were doing it, because we were doing it like at game time.
Oh, so you talked to a gentleman called Stubb.
Stubb, and we got 3 tickets for $62.
He got you on the internet and showed you.
He got us on the interwebs.
How the NFL exchange works on his.
They're like,
pocket,
oh fuck, the game's already going on. I got to get rid of this somehow. $20.
He's selling you a ticket that's written on a piece of paper that says "Ticket to football."
It was, football. You like football? It's funny, Adam, when he showed up even later, because Nick and I got in, and he has a motorized wheelchair, and he drove over, and then so
in
he
the
met
wheelchair?
in the wheelchair. He lives that close. Well, he actually drives a van too, which kind of blew my mind. It looks like the A-Team van without the red stripe. But so he came over in his wheelchair,
I don't know if anybody would call him for help.
There's no. If you need Adam, you're fucked. But he shows up, and so then obviously he can't sit where we were sitting because of his huge electronic wheelchair. So we just kind of park in one spot, and there's people kind of conglomerating around this or whatever. And then this big security guard dude comes over, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to go back to your seats. And then we're just sitting there by Adam, and I'm like going, he's got his seat, and this is what we're doing. And he was trying to guilt him into like leaving. And I'm like, where are we gonna go, dude?
The security guard was trying to guilt the wheelchair man.
Into going back.
Did he pay for a ticket?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got in. So it's just kind of like,
was he blocking something?
No, it was very weird that this guy.
What was he saying?
He basically was like, you need to go find your seats, and we're like going, look at what he's sitting in, sir. I mean, this thing's huge.
Wait, so you guys were in your seats?
No, we weren't, because we couldn't sit by our seats with him, like he'd be by himself somewhere. Okay. So we were just standing by him, and we're not in anyone's way.
So wait a minute,
Oh no!
Wait a minute, was it just you two and Adam?
Yeah,
and he came walking over.
Well, there were other people, and he booted them out, and then he came over. And then he kind of came over to us, and he was like,
"I was visualizing that it was just you two and him, and he come wandering over, like making this blanket statement. Everybody, we need to go back to our seats.
Gotta go back to your seats.
It's just you 3.
Looking around like, you talking to us?
Are you?
Well, everybody.
Are you speaking to us?
So it was just really weird, because he came over like several times and did it, and we were just like, this guy's not. There's nowhere else for this guy to go. Okay, like, what do you want? So it was very strange.
I'm in a whole big thing now where I have like this aversion to authority. Like I've been watching like all these YouTube videos about. You know how like down south they have these they're like border crossings inside America, where it's like near the border, and you're like driving, and then they force you to get off the road and go through this, like, it looks like toll booths, but it's like customs.
Okay.
And you pull up and they go, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And if you say yes, they ask you if you have anybody in your car that's not, and you say no, and then they let you drive away.
Okay.
But there's tons of people that think, and I feel like these are unconstitutional.
Sure.
So they'll come up filming and they'll say, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And then they won't say anything. And the person will be like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And they say, "Am I free to go?" And like it becomes this whole big thing.
Oh, so this is not even like these are not legitimate customs people. These are just some weirdos or something?
No. Like they work for the government. I feel like they work for the TSA, and like they have these border crossings. But the people driving through that feel like it's unconstitutional, like they fight the whole thing. Like all they have to do is say yes and no, and they can go on their way. But they feel like just having to say yes or no is against their constitutional rights. So they cause this whole big hubbub.
Weird.
Where in the end of it, after supervisors have come over, they'll always say, "All right, just get the hell out of here then." Like,
sure.
It is
sure.
against the law for them to just randomly tell you have to go through a border crossing in Texas,
They should just say C.
See? No.
No.
Well, the one guy, he goes, "Sir, do you have any?" And the border crossing guys are Mexican, which is kind of funny in and of itself. Yes, "Sir, do you have anybody in your truck?" And he's like, "I plead the Fifth Amendment." And he goes, "Why won't you just answer the question? That makes me seem like you have people back there." And he goes, "I plead the Fifth Amendment." And then there's like this 2-minute time frame where they're just staring at each other, and neither of them are saying anything.
This is awkward.
Anyways.
So you're saying fuck the police? Is that what
Fuck
you're
the
telling me?
police. Fuck anybody. Fuck the government. Fuck the IRS. Fuck all of them, man.
Fuck it.
They just are. They have too much power.
Yeah.
So don't get me started on conspiracies.
Listen, you've taken a turn on this podcast.
I am a fan of conspiracies.
Are you?
Yes.
Like, Bigfoot's out there somewhere hanging out with
Not that
UFOs?
kind of stuff, but like
Marilyn Monroe shot JFK. Is that it?
no, not that. Well, you do know all 3 of those killings were involved in the same assassination, right?
Which one? Which
Marilyn Monroe, JFK, and Martin Luther King Jr. It was all part of the same plot.
They had
you know that.
They had some weird 3-way. Is that what was going on?
No, they were.
We can't have this.
They were all pivotal points in the
How close were they?
fight for Vietnam.
I don't even know how close they were. Like
They were actually all standing next to each other. And it was one bullet.
that magic bullet.
No, it was, I think, within the same year they all got killed.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's a huge story too about Medgar Evers. I don't know if you know that story, but the guy who supposedly assassinated Medgar Evers, he did an interview with a guy from Florida, and the guy said, "How does it feel to know you're the guy that killed Medgar Evers?" And the guy just started laughing. He's like, "I didn't kill Medgar Evers." He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Do you really think if I killed one of the highest people in the civil rights, stuff, that I'd be able to walk around out here in the yard with all these black people without being stabbed to death? They know I'm not the guy." And there's like a famous picture, like I can't remember who, somebody wrote a book about the conspiracy of Medgar Evers, but there's a picture on the cover where everybody is pointing where the gunshot came from. And it's been proven that Medgar Evers' apartment, or not Medgar, the shooter's apartment was over there.
The other direction.
So it's like crazy.
I don't even know who Medgar Evers is. I didn't know him. He was a civil rights activist.
He was part of the whole thing. Yeah.
Didn't know.
Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King Jr. There was another guy too. I don't know, man. It's just all fishy stuff. The Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor. It's all conspiracies.
It's all fake.
Somebody's pulling the strings, and I think we all know who that is.
The black people.
Lizards.
Lizards?
The
lizard people are doing
lizard
it?
People.
Fucking lizards. I
love Joe Biden so much. Did you see that speech that he did a while back?
Did he talk about
ISIS?
lizards? Oh boy, what did he say?
He's doing the speech, and it's like around the time that President Obama hasn't said anything about anything we're going to be doing. So he takes it upon himself to give this speech, and in the end, he's like, "We will follow ISIS to the gates of hell." That was the end of the speech.
Thank you. Good night.
That was it.
I'll be selling merch in the back.
I wonder if I could find it, because It just made me laugh. So,
That
because anytime they let him off the leash, he's saying the craziest shit.
he's a lunatic. That's why he's just the vice president. They want to keep their enemies close, so they made him vice president.
I love the second video on YouTube says Joe Biden buys shotgun. What?
Oh boy.
Yep. Here's the video. We'll see if it'll play through.
When these barbarians.
Oh, and I shut my phone off.
Oops.
Let's try that again. Here
Conspiracy.
we go. It was a conspiracy.
With Stephen, what they did with Foley, who is from New Hampshire.
This is long. This is like a minute and a half.
Somehow think, arm Americans. We don't retreat. We don't forget.
Oh, here it is.
We take care of those who are grieving, and when that's finished, they should know we will follow them to the gates of hell until they are brought to justice. Because hell is where they will reside.
Is this
Hell is where they
is this
will
King Leonidas? This is Sparta. Shapers.
We will follow them to the gates of hell.
All right, now where's the nearest golf course? Got to work on my short game today.
Like, Joe,
Come
what are you
on.
doing? His wife's face.
She's
It's
like,
she's giving him the eyes. Like,
Joe.
Joe, cut it.
Joey.
What are we doing here?
What did we talk about last night, Joey? No gates of hell.
Gonna say anything.
No gates of hell,
Talk
Joey.
about New Hampshire.
Where was he? Where was he doing the stump speech?
I believe it was near the hometown of the one guy who got beheaded in New Hampshire. So it makes sense, but
Sure, he got
I mean,
wrapped
that
up in the
just
moment and
seems
whatever.
crazy.
And it's weird to me. All this beheading stuff is just kind of like, what the fuck is going
It's
on?
really. I heard yesterday that they've
Beheaded him.
identified the guy.
There was an
That's
he was like
heads off.
he was like a rapper from England, right? Is
Was
it that
he?
guy? That's the one thing I said. Is like we think it's this guy from England, and he used to be a rapper, DJ Fuckface. Or
Get out
something.
of here!
Yeah.
He's the beheader guy.
yeah.
You need to stop all your things, and I shall lay down some tasty beats.
Tasty
Such a
beats.
douchebag, man.
It's unreal. Like what I don't understand how they can how they're actually like recruiting
Apparently
people.
the full video is online somewhere, but I would never want to even see that.
I don't get why people want to watch that. Why would you want to, like, this is legit. Like, I can maybe, all right, you're watching a movie, but
People are curious. Like when I heard about all the naked pictures that were released for all those actresses.
oh, right.
You know,
Well,
you have
that's
that small
that's
thing where you're
titties,
like,
man.
Let's
That's
check
titties.
it out.
Yeah, check out titties.
But when a video's released about someone's head being chopped
Head
off, I'm not
rolling
like,
around.
oh my God, let me get to it.
Where is it? Add it to the collection.
Oh God. But the thing, like I've watched the beginning parts, you know, where he makes the speeches, and the knife that he's holding is very small. Like that's got to be the most brutal thing to watch if he's decapitating someone with like that small knife. Like, is he
Sure.
sawing through their neck? Like, I would think it would be more of like a samurai sword type
Right.
of thing, where you're just like, you know.
Right. One swift chop or Reno.
I can't even imagine. Like, did you ever see John Bush? You ever seen John Bush?
No.
He does a joke about the guy who had to like eat his arm off to get out of the mountain or
Yeah.
whatever. Like he gets
Yeah.
his arm stuck and
Yeah.
then he has to like chew through it or some shit.
Right. 128 hours or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Uh-huh.
And like his bit is just like, you'd hate to go to a party with that guy because no matter how crazy your life is, like he's always going to top it.
The topper.
You know? You're like talking about how you overcame cancer and you lived on grub worms in the forest and stuff. And like, so what about you? Well, after the first 68 hours of me chewing through my arm, damn this guy,
You win.
the son of a bitch.
This guy takes it. Topper. Never invite him to another party again. This guy's out.
So how was Rookies? I've never been there before.
Really?
I used to do Fat Daddies.
Okay, sure.
And so when Fat Daddies parted ways with Funny Business, like I stayed with Fat Daddies.
Sure.
And then, God, man, this is the craziest story. So
Oh, boy.
she's such a nice lady. I don't know if you ever worked Fat Daddies before.
I did not, no.
Her name, she actually worked with Nitwits that used to be there before Fat Daddies. So she bought Fat Daddies and put it into motion and stuff. And then and they had a falling out.
Yeah.
So she wanted to do her own thing. And they were like saying that she signed some kind of contract that said that she couldn't use any of the Funny Business comedians for a year or like 2 years or something like that. So she fought it, and it was just like a huge legal battle. So there was people that, like me, that knew her from the Nitwit days that were kind of grandfathered in, that we could still work there if we wanted to, while Funny Business was setting up their new venue, with the notion of knowing that when they opened their new venue, if we were still working for Fat Daddies, then we wouldn't be welcome at the new club, which makes sense, whatever.
Sure.
So when I went there to work during the transition, like, I don't even know how it all worked out, but the guy at the bar upstairs that had the liquor license that was sharing it with her downstairs somehow was like friends with Funny Business, and he was pulling all this crazy shit with her. Like, he pulled their liquor license and then like was like shutting off the tubes to the soda downstairs, and just like really just trying to squeeze her out.
Sabotaging.
Yeah, it was horrible. The whole weekend that we were there, they had nothing to eat or drink. Like, the show started and people just sat there, and then the show ended, and then they just left. It was really brutal.
It sounds like it.
But so how is
Rookies?
Rookies?
Yeah, Rookies is good. It's a strange concept because it's a room inside of a sports bar, and they've just taken this room.
Like, you've done Dublin's, right?
Yes.
So is it kind of like that?
Kind of like that, I guess. Okay. Yeah, but it's bigger.
Okay.
And when I did Dublin's, it was full. Like, Rookies is bigger, but it wasn't full. Like, the biggest show was maybe 50 people or so.
Okay.
And I imagine this was only the second week back, and it's still a relatively new club. But the guy who runs it or manages it, Jamie, couldn't be nicer.
How many shows do they do?
5. We did one Thursday, 2 Friday, Saturday, and they put you up in a real nice hotel. And this is what's going to blow your mind, Mark. On Friday, after our second show, we got to go see Warrant.
She's my cherry pie.
It was awesome.
I think I was looking at your tweets when you were there.
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
taking
yeah.
some pictures.
I took some pictures. It was crazy.
Now let me ask you this.
Oh boy.
Do they still have it?
It's weird. It's weird watching these guys because these are guys who are in their mid 40s probably, and they're all decked out in leather vests and stuff, and they got the long hair and bandanas and things, and you're like going, Jesus Christ.
Was there an opener?
Well, the tour is Firehouse, Great White, and Warrant. That's the 3-man act.
And they don't allow Great White to touch the matches.
You can't be near anything. Get out of the way of the fire extinguisher. You're blocking the door.
Bye, bye, baby, bye, bye. She
Yes.
She wrote
the letter. I wish they had canceled the shows so we could have gone see them. Because the guy
you got there and all you got to see
was like the last 40 minutes of Warrant or whatever.
How did he get? Somehow it's some kind of friend that he knows in
It's
promotion. Or
this venue called the District is next to the hotel, and the guy who manages Rookies also manages the District in some capacity.
Okay.
And I did a podcast while I was down there, and one of the guys on the podcast is a kind of like a local roadie guy.
Oh.
So he had an in. He was one who was like, yeah, if you want to come, I'll get you in for free.
Wow.
So he got us in for free, and we get to go in the VIP section.
That
that
sounded better than the last time I got that kind of treatment. I was doing Laughlin, and Smokey Robinson was playing the E-Center, which was right next to the hotel, and we got to sneak in the back to see the big closer,
see some
Tears
Smokey?
from a Clown. Just all these old ladies in their
Throwing their panties.
bedazzled jackets. Oh my God, Smokey!
It was weird seeing these chicks getting all hot and bothered over Warrant.
Oh my God, man!
Because I was like,
Younger
literally,
girls?
No,
Or like 50-year-old women.
Yeah, because these were the chicks who were hot over Warrant like 20 years ago, and you're like, they were probably hot 20 years ago.
I suppose they're not cultivating any new fan base.
God! Well, he started singing a new song. He was like, "Yeah, we got this new album. This is a song from the new album." And I was like, "What? Like, you got a new album? Like, what are you doing?" Sing Cherry Pie, and we're getting the fuck out of here.
This song's called Peach a la Mode. Lady. Cut it.
There was a song. I swear to God, I think the name of the song was Hot Load.
Get out of here.
I'm not lying.
There's no way that that's the name of the song.
It was Hot Load. I think he kept saying Hot Load. But it was just funny to me. Like, and the lead singer obviously is not the original because he's dead. Apparently, what is his name? Janie Laney or something.
That guy died?
Yeah, apparently he choked to death on his own vomit. It's all wonderful rock stars should not go. So it's a new guy, and it's Steve Perry from Journey is now the lead singer, warned.
No, he's not.
That would be the greatest.
That would have been awesome.
We're like, what? Steve Perry? Aaron? What the
There
fuck?
it is.
But
let's check it out here. New York Times. So this is a real.
this is legit.
This is a legitimate thing.
Legit.
Jamie Lane.
Uh-huh.
The flaxen-haired lead singer of Warrant.
What does that even
who
mean?
wrote Cherry Pie. Is found in his hotel room near Los Angeles. Cause of death determined.
Puke.
Struggling with alcohol. Oh, they said they have not. That must be an older story. It said not yet determined.
No, I'm sure that's what it was. But he, so the lead singer was getting all bent out of
look
shape.
Look at this. So apparently in his pocket was a note that read, "I am Janie Lane."
So he
That's
knew.
all he had on him.
Ha! Just make sure if he passes out
Alcohol
somewhere.
poisoning.
Yeah.
That's what he died of.
Yeah, that's what an awful
In a
way to
comfort inn. Jesus Christ.
go. Way to go, Jamie.
You know, I think if you're the lead singer of one of the most prolific hair bands from the 80s, that's the way you go
That's
out.
the way you do.
Yeah.
Sure.
You don't
don't
do
die
a
of old
reunion
age.
tour at 75 and you're trying to sing Harry Pie or Cherry Pie.
Harry Pie.
She's my Harry Pie.
But it was weird when I was sitting there watching it because, it was a nice venue, but I mean, it was maybe 1,500 people tops. And you go, in the day, they were selling out like arenas and stuff, like 10,000
Madison
people
Square Garden.
would come and see these fucknuts. And so to me, it goes, they go like, what the
How it is
fuck?
for them.
They still got to be doing okay, right?
I don't know about okay. I mean, they probably have no other source of income but these.
Sure, these
they
tours.
must be touring like
They're doing
every day.
in casinos. They're doing casinos and
Yeah.
shit, and that's just weird to go see Warrant or
we
hair
were
band
talking
in a
about
casino.
this like last weekend about how like some of these small towns, like at least in the Midwest,
Hmm.
that when real bands come, they're struggling to like sell tickets because of the popularity of the cover
The
bands.
cover bands, yeah.
And they're selling out venues doing other people's songs.
Right, that's
Because
weird.
he said like when Hairball came to Bismarck, they sold out like 2,000 tickets or something like that. And then Johnny Lane or something, or Johnny Lang or something came there and he sold 87 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. So
It's probably cheaper to see these cover band ripoffs.
But I was laughing too because at Mystic Lake, when I used to work there in Deal Blackjack, they used to have a ton of concerts there, and they would have to give away tickets to fill the seats, so it would make it seem like it's a huge show.
Sure.
So some of these like older bands like Air Supply and
Chicago,
REO Speedwagon and shit, they're giving away like all the tickets, And then they had a guy who's pretending to be Prince, and it's sold out in a day and a half.
Okay.
That's not Prince. This is a guy
Pretending to be
from
Prince.
Golden Valley pretending to be Prince, and his tickets sell out.
I gotta tell you, Mark, I've been in Minneapolis 24 hours and I haven't seen Prince. That's bullshit.
Well, you
This
gotta,
is some bullshit.
You gotta head up Interlochen Boulevard and
Oh, yeah?
check out the Purple
He'll
Mansion.
be peeing on a corner somewhere.
He's out there going, ha, ha, ha. He's having sex with the cherry tree in the front yard right now. You want to zoom by there and see what he's up to.
So he has a mansion somewhere?
I probably.
Wow.
It's probably right next to the Jam Brothers,
I don't know them.
Jimmy Jam.
I don't know the Jam Brothers.
They produced and managed Janet Jackson during
Oh,
her 80s and 90s, I think.
when she was still hot and relevant.
What is she doing now?
don't
That's a
know,
good
nothing.
question.
Nothing.
Maybe we could get her for that district.
Get the district.
See how it goes.
That'd be all right. That'd be the kind
We
of
could
thing they'd
get,
want.
we could get In Vogue to open up
Ah,
for her.
there you go. DeBarge. All
I
the good
don't
stuff.
feel like something's round the corner.
Awful.
Did you ever see the movie Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon?
Is that a kung fu
You
movie?
can't be on this podcast.
You're gonna have to
Bruce
leave, sir.
Leroy, you haven't seen that movie?
No, I don't think
Shonuff?
so. I don't think
The
so.
Shogun of Harlem?
No.
Oh God, you got to go see that movie.
Black exploitation.
Well, no, it was made in the 80s, so it was produced by MTV. So it's like a lot of videos and like choreographed fight scenes to music.
Sweet.
And out of nowhere, DeBarge is in the movie, just singing a song. It's just such a crazy.
They're on
movie.
stage somewhere. You're like, what the
The
fuck?
lead lady in it was Vanity.
Oh, Prince. The Prince chick, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the lead guy's name was Bruce Leroy. So I did a podcast about it a while back. It's great.
Of course.
Have you seen Hawk the Slayer?
I have not.
You have not seen
I haven't even heard of it.
It's from 1972. It starred Jack Palance and Terry Hoyts. And it's a straight ripoff of Lord of the Rings.
Huh.
Because there's an elfin bowman,
Uh-huh.
a giant,
Yeah.
a dwarf,
Yeah.
and a wizard.
Huh.
And they go and fight evil.
Sounds wonderful. Was it good or was it awful? Was it straight awful?
It's so horrible, it's good.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't think so.
What is
But
it
you
called?
can
Hawk
get
the what?
Hawk the Slayer.
Hawk the Slayer.
Now, I know you've seen The Last Starfighter.
Long time
Yeah.
ago. Long time ago.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, yeah. Is this what is your podcast has now become you talking about old horrible movies?
Oh, I'm interested because I think I told you when we did a podcast last time that I started out like that's what I was going to do was I was going to bring to light these old weird movies that
Sure.
nobody had seen anymore. And then somebody told me Doug Benson did kind of a movie thing, so I didn't want to.
Doug loves movies.
Yeah, so I decided to just do a podcast where it was just
Randomness.
me talking about my life and friends.
How
and stuff.
how do you find out about these crazy old movies? I never, like I said, I never heard of any of these movies.
I don't know, man. Like when I was younger, I would just find these strange movies on HBO late at night. Like two of my favorite movies, and I go back now and they don't hold up whatsoever.
Sure,
There was
yeah.
a movie called Side Out that had C. Thomas Howell in it, and I can't remember what the other guy's name, but it was all about this kid that came from Milwaukee to San Diego to work in his uncle's law firm, and on his time off, he's learning to play volleyball. So then
Professional
he
volleyball
So
player,
then
huh?
he ends up leaving the law firm and becoming a professional volleyball player.
That sounds
Called
awful.
Side Out.
So now I got to try and find it.
Yeah, so that's another one. And the other one was a movie that had Mitch Gaylord as the star, and it was all about him working with the demons of his father and his mother, trying to be an Olympic gymnast, called American Anthem. And what's funny is the outro music to this podcast
Yeah.
is from that movie.
Ah,
It's a John
you.
Barr song called Two Hearts.
It's fine.
Two hearts live and beat as one together.
You've taken this too seriously.
Well, that's like I do a joke on stage about, and I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but in the 80s,
Yeah.
the song that would start the movie, lots of times was just like the way they wrote the song was the plot of the movie to music.
Yeah.
They would just tell you the movie in this song, and I think American Anthem, Two Hearts, is like, it couldn't be more specific as to what the plot is when the movie starts. It's like, he works in a welding thing. She's coming from a really famous city, and they're loving each other, and they're doing
Yeah.
gymnastics. You're like, this is just the movie.
Well, I guess I can go home now.
Well, it's like Smokey and the Bandit. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking, right? That's what
Right.
they're doing.
And there you go.
And Footloose, right? Everybody's dancing and shit.
Dave Landau, obviously.
Yeah.
He just had a movie come out that
Get outta
he
here.
wrote and produced, and I don't know if he directed.
Are you out of your mind?
The King.
What is it about?
It's about this kid who turns 18 and the adventures that happen that night.
Really?
And it's all takes place in inner city Detroit. And I get to see a sneak preview of it or whatever, and it wasn't too bad. It was not too shabby. It was comedy, obviously, with Dave Landau, and it's pretty interesting.
Did he? Is it like a under a studio, or was it independent?
Independent. And a lot of comedy buddies of his are in it. Like, do you know Bill Bouchard?
Yeah.
Bill's got a small role in it, and some other comics. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I feel I'm interested that that Dave's movie has come out before Frank Roach's movie. Would you care to speak about that?
No. I love Frank, but yeah, he's talked about the movie, the Italy Boys. The Italy Boys. He's been talking about that forever.
I met Frank Roach 8 years ago.
And he was talking about
and
that.
he was talking about giving me a part in the Italian Boys.
Yeah, I know.
Is it a real film?
He talks about it like it is.
Okay.
But he's got so many big name people attached to it that I'm just like, how is this happening, or how has this not happened? If
Who's
all these
attached to it?
name like a mob guy who wasn't attached to it. I mean, that's what he'll tell you. You know.
Yeah, not actual mob guys, but
Right,
guys
but
that
like
played
like
monsters and,
Ray
Goodfellas.
Liotta and people like
Get
people
outta
people of that nature. Yeah, if we're on,
All
are
right,
you on
let's
it? It's go to Google Italy Boys, and you will see
I'm
like
not putting it
he would
in.
say Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro, just like all these big name dudes. I'm like, if this is legit, how is this not getting done? And then it's always logistics or this or that. So then it just becomes like, I don't know what's really happening, what isn't. You find it?
There's an IMDb.
Yeah, for the Italy Boys.
It's not pretty big, but the last Italian mafia family left in Detroit, known as the Italy Boys, have quietly ruled their city unexposed for 3 generations until a group of Middle Eastern gangsters from Afghanistan decide to set up shop in their own backyard. Let's check out the cast and crew. Writing credits: Richard Gautier, Michael Milley, and Frank Roach. Is there a cast and crew? Let's see here. Cast and crew. Well, that's just the writing. Where the heck are the... Let's check out the full cat.
Nothing.
No actors
It ain't up
listed.
there. Okay.
No actors
How about if let's see if we Google the Italy Boys, because I do believe it actually has a website.
They have a,
Oh,
no,
do-
there's the website.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's check out the website here. The Detroit Mafia, the war in Afghanistan is taking place at our home. Website coming soon.
Oh,
I feel like that website was made by somebody not involved. Let's check out their Facebook, because they have a Facebook.
okay.
And it has 10 more likes than my comedy page, which is making me very sad at this moment.
Oh,
A touch of class at the end of the day? What the hell? I read our
No.
Italy Boy script while eating some gabo gabool, a little bacare, and some pasta sauteed in garlic and olive oil. The script, mañana, tasted great. That was posted 1 year ago.
yeah. Oh, that was the last posting. Yeah.
Let's check out the more information here.
Yeah, it's all.
Tagline: passing the torch doesn't mean you gotta get burned. There it is. No, there's no mention of any people. So
Well, it's changed.
yeah, I just felt bad. Frankie is a really good guy. He is. He does start fights quick.
Oh yeah,
He's kind of crazy.
on and off.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for him with that America's Got Talent thing. Me and Randy and Carlo were talking about it last week because he knows Frank. And it was just a tough thing to watch, you know. But I feel like if I got that opportunity, that's pretty much how my audition would have gone for America's Got Talent. I would have done really well the first time, and they would have gave me notes, and I would have came back and completely fucked it up.
Misinterpreted what they said.
Here
Well,
is my impression of a squirrel farting.
for him-
Get off the stage.
For him, it really felt like that was edited so poorly to make him look like a jackass.
Yeah.
So
Well, we were talking, too, about the first couple rounds of Last Comic Standing where
Yeah.
they taped people from Minneapolis, and they just edited them quick to make them look like complete douchebags.
Sure.
And you're just like, this is just so
well,
ridiculous.
some guys didn't even get airtime. Like I don't think I ever saw Abshire, and I don't think I ever saw Gillespie.
No.
And so I'm just like, to me, I'm like,
And all you saw was AJ Finney just shaking people's hands. You're just like,
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then they had a segment where it was like the 100 best jokes.
Yeah.
And they still didn't even get on at that point. It's like,
Right.
what the fuck are you filming? Like, give them a shot.
I've always been like, if for that show, if you're going to invite 100 guys, all 100 people should get at least 5 seconds of airtime.
Well, they do so many of these auditions across the country at different comedy clubs, and every place that they go to, they do 2 shows, and each show has 25 comedians on it.
Yep.
So it's like every club that they go to, and it's got to be like at least 10. So they're auditioning 1,000 comedians for every season of the show.
Yeah.
And you know that the top 10 are guys that they've already decided who are going to be the top 10 like
I was,
seconds after the last season ends.
I was pretty aware who was going to win when they had the top 10, that it was going to be that Rodman character. Because to me, he just fit like what they want for TV.
Yeah.
I didn't legitimately feel like he was the funniest guy.
Yeah.
His style wasn't for me, but whatever. I'm not a judge.
No.
And I won't even get on the show. The same
Have you
people
ever-
who run that run
in
ACME.
in the 9 years that the show's been on, have you ever been able to be in front of the
No.
judges for an audition?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I've never gone and done that. I never wanted to do the casting call because I never felt like I
that
was good
too,
enough
like,
for it.
I was like, well, I just thought it was really degrading to have to wait in line outside to go in and do 30 seconds or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah.
And of course they showed Fancy Ray.
Who's
like
that?
a while back. You don't know Fancy Ray?
No, I don't know.
A
Fancy
beautiful man in comedy? He's
No.
like a all right.
Oh God, is he a
this up
Minneapolis staple?
He is a Minneapolis staple.
Is he a lunatic?
I haven't seen him on TV that much, but like when I first started in comedy, like every low money, like buy a car with no credit commercial on stage
He was on it?
Fancy Ray.
He's been. This place is the great A1 car dealership. It's for you.
Let's see if we can find. Fancy Ray was on Maury. Get out of here. He was on Texas Justice.
Jesus.
He's got 62 videos. Oh my god.
So this is a guy who's just a whore for TV exposure.
Well, yeah, he's
Is he old?
here. What? Come on. Here we go.
This is Fancy Ray from Manifesting Clothing Store right here in Crystal, Minnesota.
Wow.
Fashion has the greatest fashion at the lowest prices. I should know. Denim jeans, $20. Cardigan sweaters, $20. Bubble coats, $20. $39 for leather jacket. And 2 suits for $100. If you live your life with passion, you got to look dashing. You like Fancy Ray, get great clothes, great gifts, great savings, and Harold Pitters, man of fashion. Come on down today.
Wow, he's a lunatic,
What
huh?
are your thoughts on Fancy Ray?
Fancy Ray's a lunatic, and people are taking advantage of his mental health issues. He needs a guardian.
But yeah, he was like, anytime they did any of the stuff in Minneapolis where people were waiting in line, like he was always down there.
Sure.
And obviously he's like a complete character. So
Yeah,
every
it-
time
oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
on television.
Yeah.
So he'd be doing something crazy in line, and you
Yeah.
know, the camera's like, "Oh, look at
What?
this crazy fuck! Let's get down there."
Look at this afro perm or whatever.
You know, I feel like he's basically paid for everything in his life with that character that he's come up with.
Is he? Do you know him personally at all or no?
I do, yeah.
Is he a lunatic off stage?
He's out there,
Okay.
but he is a genuinely nice guy.
Is
but
he
he's just fucking out there.
comic at all, or that's
He is
just
a stand-up.
okay?
My favorite joke that he tells is, "I'm gonna put my face on a stamp so I can lick myself." I'm the prettiest man in comedy. The human chocolate orchard. Fancy Ray McClooney.
No,
No, you don't want any of that?
no,
None of that?
none, none. He can go lick
Are you-
himself.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Stu?
I will pass. I will pass. I will never be a judge on Last Comic Standing because I'm passing up on Fancy Ray.
Do you have anything coming up in the next couple months you want to promote?
No, nothing
Maybe
really.
something in, like,
No, you know.
October-ish?
I'm doing another recording for Laughs.
Are you?
I did a recording in Detroit, and they lost the footage.
Oh, get out of here. You've
Yeah.
got to be shitting me.
I did, I don't really feel like I ever do necessarily terribly well, but I felt like I did really well for that. So I was like, yes, this is going to be good. And I felt like they can use some of what I did on air. And then somehow they lost some people's. They didn't lose everybody's, but they lost some. And I was one of the some. And I can't they're doing another filming in Detroit this week. I think tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
Okay.
And I obviously
You
I can't
go
go.
there.
So the only one I can go to is October 1st in Louisville.
Did you talk to Nick about his set on there?
Yeah, how his mic went out.
How did he feel about it? I felt like they really screwed him on that.
He kind of felt like, but then I guess it turned out okay because he handled it well.
But still, like, each person on there is roughly getting between like 30 and 80 seconds for their set.
Yeah.
And they held up a majority of his airtime with the
technical
stupid
difficulties.
Microphone bullshit.
I kind of asked him, I was like, why didn't they just record the whole thing? Like, if the mic went out, why didn't they just stop and reintroduce you and do it again? And I don't know, I guess they just had to just plow through it, I guess.
But that was the thing, is like, I don't know. Maybe they thought it was funny, or like somehow it was going to make him look better to show that he could still do
work on
comedy
his feet
after the mic broke.
Sure.
But if I was running that show, I wouldn't want to make light that you fucked up. Like, I would just like show his set. Agreed. Like a couple jokes that went really well, and then move on to the next guy. Why make such a big deal that your equipment fucked up?
And it's unfortunate that the reputation of that show isn't as stellar as you would want it to be. Yeah. So I agree with you in that sense of like, why kind of show some foibles and faux pas when you can easily just kind of cover it up. So, but I feel like that's a big enough thing for me to do. And I've talked with a lot of guys about it, like, oh, you're not getting paid, this or that. And I'm like, how much shit do we do that like we just don't get paid for anyway?
Of course.
And I'm like, this is something.
You get paid when you go on Bob and Tom?
No. And I mean, I've never been on Bob and Tom either, so it's kind of like, if I can get on this TV show and they have a minute clip of me, 30-second clip of me, and that manages to get me in front of 100,000 people or whatever who are watching it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, this business, at least at this point right now, is all about letting people know who you are.
Yeah,
like that's the whole point.
Promotion
of the road and the comedy clubs is for them to make money, and when they make money, the way they make money is they sell tickets, and the only way they're going to sell tickets are people are going to buy them because they want to come see you.
Yes.
And the only way they're going to know that is if they know who the fuck you are.
Right.
And if you're not on television, you're a nobody at this point.
Yep.
You know, people will say all the time, I'm sure you get it, have you ever been on television?
Sure.
And you'll be like,
nope.
Well, now we can say, I did this tiny show called Fox. It's building. It's doing well.
Yeah, and you got it, and you build the following.
And they had a repeat this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same person that went on like 4 episodes ago did another set on there, which drove me bonkers.
Yeah. Why? Well, there was a guy who at the Detroit taping, he had already been on the first one, and it kind of I'm like, why are you letting him do another one?
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's funny to me that they're letting another person get on again when you got dozens of people.
When I saw that, I thought to myself, well, maybe they did what they did with the microphone thing because they're going to use Nick again, like
for
towards the
else.
end of the run of the show.
Maybe.
You know,
maybe.
If they do that, that would make, because sometimes what they'll do in the show too, well, they'll have a clip of a guy at the front, and then they'll show a little bit more of him at the end.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, that's exactly what they're going to do with Nick, and then they never came back. I was surprised. My other friend Eddie Pence was on there, and everybody was averaging about 30 to 80 seconds. His set was 14 seconds. He did like
told one-liner.
This really quick one-liner out, and I was like, well, they're going to come back to him at the end.
Never did.
And they never did. I was like, oh my god.
And that's what I've told people too, because like I don't know when you did a taping for it. When I did the taping, it was everyone got 4 minutes.
Yep.
And so me, in my brain, I'm like I'm going to prepare for this 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I did like 8 open mics just for the 4 minutes, just to make sure I got it whittled down. So I had it. I knew what I was going to do. This is it. Because in my brain, I'm like I know they're not going to show my whole thing, but for the set, for the people out in the crowd, I wanted it to be good.
And we get the rights to that footage next year, so we're going to have this amazing three camera shoot of a 4-minute set that we can use for. That's what I'm more excited about.
Sure.
Is getting that 4-minute footage.
I was surprised at how many guys did not have 4 minutes. Like they didn't, like headliners didn't have 4 minutes because they hadn't planned it in their brain of like what's 4 minutes, because like they're 4 minutes.
What do they do? Less?
Well, they ended poorly. It was kind of like the joke goes flat. My 4 minutes are done. Thank you and good night.
I can't wait to show my 4 minutes because I did what you did. Wrote it as a story of myself to a crescendo.
Yeah.
And like people were like, what? Like
right.
It had an open, a build, and a close.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Right? That's
and these guys are like, so I like that's why I like peanut butter sandwiches. Mm-hmm. All right, I guess that's it.
Well, there was one guy, he told a bit, and he got a decent applause, and he was kind of
oh,
I guess I'll end on that. Thanks. And it was just weird. It was just like, what? And then some of the material that the guys were choosing, it just blew my mind of like just telling dick jokes or sex jokes and stuff. I'm like, this is like, I'm not saying the joke's not funny, but in the context
did
of
that like pep talk before you guys took the stage about.
But a lot of these guys, even though they were asked to do it, were still relatively new, maybe like 3 years or less, and it's just kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, if you do the math, they're running through.
They're burning
something
through
like 12 comics a show, and they're doing 13 episodes. I mean, that's like. I don't even know that math. Like 150 comedians.
That's 1 million comedians.
Wait.
Carry the zero.
Move the dot.
That's that new math. But
hopefully
it blew my mind.
We will get word soon that you'll be on.
I'm just probably going to do the same set I did before. It worked well in Detroit. Hopefully in Louisville it'll work well.
I was surprised that mine went off without a hitch because I'm usually that guy where like I tape a set and they're like, oh, we actually didn't plug the red cord in, so there's no audio. You look great, but there's no audio.
Right.
Or like I was waiting for it to be like episode 12 of 13 and I hadn't been on yet, waiting for that email to come in about the comics for episode 13 and my name wasn't on it. Like, well, I just did all that for nothing. So I feel a sense of relief that mine has already aired.
That's great. Yeah.
And I've got at least that small clip of footage on my YouTube.
I've told plenty of people, like, just because I'm recording it doesn't mean it's going to get on TV. Because in Detroit there were 31 comics who performed, 15 on
that show,
15 on the first show, and 16 on the second show.
Jesus.
And I'm like, so that's I'm going. There's absolutely a possibility that I will not be on the TV show.
Because our taping in Indianapolis, it was just 15 comics. It was
just did the one show.
15,
yeah. If you'd done two, there would have been another 15.
Yeah.
So
But it was a heavy hitter show. It was, Warren B. Hall was on it.
Yeah, I saw the lineup. It was pretty
Emily
good.
Galati, Miss Pat.
Yeah.
The big guns, as they say.
The biggers. Nah, whatever. So that's it. Yeah, I got nothing.
Your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube?
Stu McAllister.
All right.
STUMCCALLISTR, because my name gets spelled all the time wrongly. Instagram as well.
You do Instagram.
I do pictures. I take naughty pictures. The one thing I am excited for is the month of December. I won't be home at all.
Where are you going?
I will be down south the entire month. I will be doing South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. So it makes sense. None of those are Heffron, no.
Who are they for?
It's all funny business gigs. And the Knoxville is Side Splitters. So, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting for me to not...
Congratulations on that.
It's nice. I'm also kind of dreading and afraid of it because I'll just be couch surfing or sleeping in my car.
And it for a month.
In
the wintertime.
Yeah. I mean, at least I'll be down south, which is nice. But you're just kind of like, fuck.
Just go to the beach, brother. Curl up
man.
on the beach,
hang out with some bums. Curl up next to each other for warmth.
You got any weed, bro?
Got any weed? I don't.
Well, Stu, thank you for making the trek up to
thanks,
the ghetto.
Mark. Yeah, it wasn't even like this. This is hardly the ghetto. No, if this is the ghetto, I'm moving to the ghetto. I'm slumming it.
I tell people that I live in Brooklyn Center. They're like, "Ooh, we'll make it up there before dark." Like,
what does that even mean?
It's not that bad. Like,
I don't even know what this is.
They think that Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and like Crystal are like the badder suburbs of Minneapolis, and the nicer ones are like Edina, Richfield, and Bloomington down south. So
whatever.
It's all at this point in the world, like it's all about neighborhood blocks. Like whatever block, like this block is amazing. Like we've met all the people on the block and everybody's great.
Yeah.
You could go 3 blocks over and it's all just,
crack houses.
Yeah. You never know.
Well, tell me where I need to buy some.
I need to get a hat. Have you ever seen that Have you ever seen the tourism video for Cleveland?
Oh God.
I'm gonna play them real quick because they're two. There's two of them and they're like a minute long, but they're just freaking hilarious, man. It was these guys that did tourism videos for Cleveland.
Funny.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here's the first one.
Fun times in Cleveland today. Cleveland, come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Come and look at both of our buildings. Buy some food that's prepared near the street. Who knows, you might even see this guy. You should come on down to West 6th Street. It's the perfect place if you're a douchebag. Watch the poor people all wait for buses. Who the fuck still uses a payphone? Here's the place where there used to be industry. This train is carrying jobs out of Cleveland. Cleveland leads the nation in drifters. Here's a statue of Moses Cleveland. He's the guy who invented Cleveland. Yeah!
Jesus.
The other one is
Drifters.
so much better. So
We
you
love
can see
those
that.
drifters.
Here's the second one.
Fun times in Cleveland again. Still Cleveland. Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Under construction since 1868. See our river that catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. We see the sun almost 3 times a year. This guy has at least 2 DUIs. The flats look like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Don't slow down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our economy's based on LeBron James. Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main export is crippling depression. We're so retarded that we think this is art. It could be worse though, at least we're not Detroit.
Yeah.
We're not Detroit.
Jeez.
We're not Detroit.
Woo!
Well, I think we'll end on that high note.
That's
Stu,
awesome.
thank you
Thanks.
for being on the show.
Thank you, Mark.
Someday we shall meet again.
We'll do it.
Probably
Thanks.
in Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids.
Hope you enjoyed my interview with Stu McAllister. If you want to get the podcast, it's always available at iTunes at Unbridled Enthusiasm. You can also get it from Podbean. Check out my Facebook, Mark Poulos Comedian. My Twitter, at the Mark Poulos. My YouTube channel, just Mark Poulos.